Not so great was what happened here in America. It was a rough week for America after the fatal police shootings of Alton Sterling and Philandro Castle. A crazy man who was mad about these shootings went to a Black Lives Matter rally in Dallas and did exactly what he said he was angry about. He shot 5 police officers and wounded bystanders, some of whom were black. Something crazy is happening. Shooting police officers shooting people. None of this is okay.
None of it is okay.
You were in Dallas.
Yeah, I just got back from Dallas last night, and it was really somber there, and I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of those police officers and speak to other reporters, and it was a very somber moment, but people really in Dallas have come together, and I thought that was heart-warming. I will say that the bright side of it is that the bottom line is that police violence is down, so people aren't just at random generally shooting down police officers. But we also have to be mindful that fatal police shootings of unarmed black men is up by 6% just this year. And so I'm hoping that we can have those two conversations at the same time, that we can mourn the police officers that were murdered, because that is so tragic, but we should also be mourning the 2 black men that were also shot within days of each other.
Is it interesting to note that 71% of police officers who've been shot and killed this year have been by white guys? 71%.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Did you get to talk to the Dallas police chief, who is an extraordinary
I didn't get to interview him, no, but he is extraordinary, and I think that's the kind of leadership that we need at this time. I mean, he's a man whose son shot the police and was killed. He's a man who lost his brother to violence as well. And so he's a man that knows it from the victim's perspective, and that was, and the Dallas Police Department, by the way, has made incredible strides in terms of policing in the community.
Yes, they have.
And so that is what is also so very tragic, that out of, everything, this is a police department that generally gets it right.
But here's what happens. Again, we talk a lot about people with issues. And this man who went and did this, clearly, if you're angry, you don't go and do exactly what you're angry about. No. This is a man who had, I feel, some psychological issues.
Well, that's been reported, that he was mentally unstable, that he had also been discharged from the Army dishonorably.
Honorably. They had discussed
many, things.
But he had an arsenal of weapons.
I think
legal.
All legal.
Yeah. I think what you're saying, Whoopi, is important, that people do have a right to be angry. I think there's a lot going on. And the right to protest in this country is a basic right. You have to protect that. But what you don't have a right to do is go and inflict violence on other people. And I actually felt that President Obama gave a great statement. I thought it was balanced. I thought he stood up for law enforcement, protecting those people who go out every day and protect our lives. I think he condemned violence, and I think he also spoke to the issues that a lot of African Americans in these communities feel that they are targets for no reason. And unless community and law enforcement comes together and has these discussions, and the rest of us understand the importance of unity, this problem's only going to get worse. So I appreciated that at a time when we needed unity, the president didn't take a side. He took everyone's side, and he said, I hear what you're all saying, but violence is not allowed in any circumstance, and the right to protest has to be protected, but it has to be peaceful, or you're undermining your own cause in the process. So I thank him for doing that.
Well, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of other balance in the world, because former mayor, New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton are slamming the Black Lives Matter movement. Giuliani claims it's anti-American and inherently racist. Let me start by saying this, Rudy. If you look at who's marching in those Black Lives Matter marches, they are all colors, all hues. God bless you. It's men, women, black, white, green, orange. People are saying, we see an issue. We see a problem. So telling us, particularly black folks and particularly black parents, that we need to teach our children better because they're probably going to be killed by each other, is not the way to do this, because we already know what we need to say to our children. This has been going on a very long time, but it doesn't help if you stir the pot, Rudy.
Well, he's not the only one.
No, he's not the only one, but he's the one I'm talking to now.
Yeah.
Along with Mr. Bratton, you know, to tell us to take a page out of the NAACP's playbook is kind of, it's kind of not the thing you want to say. I would say you first. None of the people who were shot, not the police officers, not the people who were shot over the weekend, none of them were disrespecting the police. So telling us to be nicer, to be quieter, is not going to work. You first, I say. Be respectful. Understand why people are upset.
Well, you know, the statement that he made on Face the Nation yesterday, which I think the Commissioner said, his statement on Face the Nation, Giuliani, was the real danger to black Americans 99 out of 100 times is other black kids who are going to kill them. I think that's a separate argument, first of all.
Well, not only
he's
is
making a separate argument, but it also skirts the issue of racism, which is really the discussion that people should be having in this country. What is racism in America? It's not about, a lot of times people sort of don't understand, I think, what you're driving at, what it means to be white in this country either. What it means to be white. People I'm talking to are white people now. I mean, I'm a white girl. I'm a Caucasian girl. I can move into any neighborhood I want. I can go to any school I want. You know, I can travel in any country where there's no terrorism, of course. I'm scared of that. But I can go wherever I want.
You can go in a store and not get followed.
I'm not going to be followed thinking that I'm shoplifting just because of this color of my skin. I think that people in this country need to understand that you have this privilege because of the color of your skin. And you need to get a little more sensitive to that fact. And when you start that, go there a little bit.
Yeah.
You will probably start to understand what black Americans go through. I've seen this movie. I'm old. I've seen this movie. I saw it in the 60s. I saw it in the 70s. You know, people make a little bit of progress and then they go backwards again. And there's never this understanding that schools need to be integrated, that people need to be living together.
Well, but the people need to be treated with dignity, with the same
that
dignity.
goes without saying.
Because for me, this has been very personal, because all of you know I'm raising a 13-year-old 6-foot-tall black boy. And the bottom line is, I want him to come home to me at night. I know that he is at a 2.5 times rate chance of getting shot by police than Candace's 14-year-old son. And I have to have that talk with him.
Let's put this in perspective also. It's not just your son, it's your husband.
It's my husband,
it's your husband,
my father.
it's your dad.
And the bottom line is for Giuliani to tell me that I need to teach my kid to be more respectful to police. Are you freaking kidding me? I teach my kid how to be respectful to police because I need to save his life. Well, I need to make sure he can survive this.
But it's not just that. It's not just that. If you can't see that there is an issue, if you don't understand why people are marching, you are the problem. If you don't see that there are all kinds of folks marching in this, if you don't put a face to them, you're the problem, man. You are the problem. We're all just trying to raise our kids. We're all just trying to get through. We get that you don't understand. We're trying to help you.
Well,
but
he also paints the entire Black Lives Matter movement with one fell swoop, and then he would object to doing that to the police force.
Or
Okay,
to the Tea Party.
Or to the Tea Party, as you pointed out before. So it's like no group wants to be painted like that.
And there have been
That's
a
what
few
you're really
people
driving at.
that have spoken out that I'm so glad that they have. Newt Gingrich did. He said, it took me a long time and a number of people talking to me through the years to get a sense of this. If you're a normal white American, the truth is you don't understand being black in America. And you instinctively underestimate the level of discrimination and the level of additional risk. And Marco Rubio went on to say, those of us who are not African American will never fully understand the experience of being black in America. And
yeah, but those same politicians need to vote so that black Americans and white Americans are equal in this country. For instance, the Republican Party is the first party to go against affirmative action, for example, which basically helps people of color in this country, which has put people in professorial positions, has made them more doctors, more lawyers. Those are the things that work in this country, and they vote against that. So I don't listen to this type of it's nice of Newt Gingrich to say that, but what happens when the vote comes down? That's the more important point.
You know, we were talking earlier during our meeting that I've had this conversation with my 13, soon-to-be 14-year-old, but you haven't had to have that conversation.
No, I haven't had to have that conversation, and yet within my family, I have black nieces and nephews.
Yes.
I have cousins and just extended friends that I have many black people in my life, and no, I haven't had to have those conversations with my own children, but it doesn't mean my heart isn't compassionate, doesn't mean I may not understand it from the personal level that you will, but I want to be part of the answer.
Right.
I think we all do, and I think that starts, the bottom line is it starts with our communities, each of us taking the responsibility on ourselves, whether you're white, black, Asian, old, young, Christian, Muslim, whatever, and we deal with it together as a community and have these conversations and invite people that maybe are out of our comfort zone in to have that conversation, get to know each other.
And let me just point this out. See this? See the faces here?
Yeah.
All colors.
Of course.
So who are they racist against? So when we come back, we're going to be talking to the woman who recorded her fiance after he was shot by police. But as we go to break, we want to pay tribute to the officers in Dallas who lost their lives.